Hello everyone and welcome to Learning Illustrator Day 8. Let us see what we have learned in Day 7 first. In Day 7 we learned about drawing shapes and we have covered quite of tools on that day like the line segment tool, arc tool, spiral, rectangle, rounded rectangle, ellipse, polygon and star tool. So we have covered all these tools and we have seen how we can change their options and the option keys are available with all the tools, so how they work and how they affect the shapes. Okay, so in day 8, that is today, what we are going to learn is first of all a pencil tool, and this is actually very robust tool and you will see it in today videos. How can we create a variety of shapes using this tool itself? Then we are going to see selection tool again. Yes, we have covered it previously, but I feel like we should cover it again. And then after we are going to see direct selection tool. Now this is again a new tool which can be used to change the shapes and change the path in the way you want. So this gives a next level of freedom to you where you can have your shape created and then you can actually change it the way you want. So without wasting any time, let's quickly jump into Illustrator and let's get started. So I have my Illustrator open and let's create a new file. File, new, and the resolution is fine 1920 by 1080 and click OK. So here I have my file. Now to start with, let's see the implementation of spacebar key while drawing shapes. So in previous video we have covered how to draw all the shapes, and today we are going to see one more option key that is common to all the tools or all the shape tools, which is spacebar. So the implementation is really simple. While drawing the shape, if you press spacebar in between, you can actually move your shape around. And when you release your space key, you can again make changes to your shape and then release your mouse to have your shape back. So this works with all the tools, whether it's rounded rectangle, ellipse, polygon or star. So let's see if it works with star tool. So I'm going to create a star from here, and in between I can press space key to move my star from the corner to the center of rectangle. And when I think that this shape is fine, I can release the space key and again make changes to my shape. And finally I can release my mouse and create a shape. Alright, so let's see if it works with the spiral, arc or line segment. So let's test it on spiral tool. So again drawing a spiral from the center of a rectangle, and again I'm pressing the space key to reposition it and to the corner of a rectangle, and when I'm sure with my position I can release the space key and then release my mouse click. Alright, so that's just a simple functionality, or you can say it's a simple option key that is available for all the tools. So the next tool we are going to cover is pencil tool. So you can use the pencil tool for drawing paths or drawing strokes. Now the flow of these strokes depends a lot on the kind of device you are using. So you might be having a mouse with you or a touchscreen computer or a graphic tablet. So it depends a lot on these devices. Let's say if I'm using a graphic tablet, Wacom graphic tablet, so you can clearly see the difference between the two, because on a graphic tablet you are drawing with a pen on a glass, so it gives a lot of feel like drawing on a paper, so you get really nice strokes. Otherwise, while drawing with mouse, you may find it really difficult to get the strokes you want. Like if I draw here the stroke, it has come out really nice with the graphic tablet. On the contrary, when I draw with my mouse, so it doesn't come very properly, because even I have lost practice drawing with mouse because I haven't drawn with mouse since long time. So you might come out with better strokes than me, because if you are practicing on mouse, so yes, it can be corrected by practicing, but again, if you are drawing a lot and you are into sketching and stuff, then you might want to invest into a graphic tablet. That will help you a lot. Alright, so now let's see the options we have with pencil tool. So you can double click on the tool icon over here to open the option window. And here we have tolerances and options as a main category, and then we have subcategories inside this. So let's see all these options one by one. So the first option is fidelity. I have kept it minimum right now. So what it does at minimum is it exactly captures my hand movement. So even the little bit of shakiness in the path it captures. So you can see over here in the starting there was a little bit of handshake and it even captured that thing. So now when I draw, so you can see it captures the exact hand movement. When I turn fidelity to maximum, that is 20 pixel, so it gives me really nice smooth strokes. And of course it doesn't follow my hand movement, but and the strokes I get are really smooth. But there's a problem with maximum fidelity. If you are drawing really small shapes, let's say I'm drawing something like this, then it might not capture the exact thing which you want to draw. If the shape is large and the distance between your lines are a lot, then it will give a good shape. But if you are drawing really small shapes, then you might find it difficult to get the shape you want. So let's say if I'm drawing a circle here, so it's not a circle actually. It's making something else by itself. So even if in a small circle, you can see that it's a kind of line. It's not even a circle anymore. So if you are doing very precise movements, if your pen tool or sorry, if your pencil tool are making very precise movements or very small movements, you might want to uh, reduce fidelity to minimum and then draw. And if you are drawing very large shapes, then you can increase it to maximum and then make the shapes to have a really smooth lines. Alright, so I'm going to select all this and delete for now. Let's see the second option, that is smoothness. Now smoothness works more or less same like fidelity. So I generally don't use smoothness. I only use fidelity for my work. So because it confuses me more than it helps. So anyways, but we are going to see the smoothness option also. So right now it is minimum and fidelity is also minimum. So you can see that again it captures my exact hand movement, even the small shakiness over here. But when I turn smoothness to or increase smoothness to 100%, and you can see my pencil strokes has it again it or Illustrator again tries to smooth out the stroke automatically by itself. But here I am even not getting the kind of stroke I want. It is trying to smooth it a lot, so we might want to decrease the smoothness a bit to 56% or something. And when I draw now, yes, I get some smooth strokes, but again, it's not what I want. So yeah, while using this tool, you might want to tinker some settings and then see whether it matches what exactly you want, or you want to keep it minimum. All right, so that's with the smoothness. Now, let's see the options we have in pencil tool. So first option is fill new pencil strokes. So right now, if you notice when we are drawing our stroke, it's not filled. It's just a line. There is no fill color in it. So what we are going to do now is select a fill color that is, let's say, like green kind of color, and press OK. This time I'm going to check fill new pencil strokes. So just click on this checkbox and press OK. Now when I'm drawing this pencil strokes, you can see it's automatically filling the stroke itself. Let's decrease the value of smoothness to 0. And again, you can see it's filling the pencil strokes by itself. And that is good because if you want to draw close shapes, then you have your fill already. Now, talking about closed shapes, we have two kind of shapes or paths. One is open, one is closed. So shapes like this, like the star tool, rectangle tool, all these tools or all these shapes are closed shapes or closed path. Like they don't have any opening in them. But when we are drawing with pencil tool, then you can see there is an opening inside this shape. So this is called open path or open shape. Yes, there are several ways to close this gap. So we are going to learn this in future. But right now, just know that we have two kind of shapes here. One is open and one is closed one. All right, so let's delete this shape and see what other options do we have. The next option we have is keep selected. So what it does is when I check this option and click OK, the newly strokes which you create is selected by default. Otherwise, when you uncheck this option, now when you draw a shape or stroke, then it's not selected by itself. So let's say it again. Keep selected and click OK. So when I draw now, I have my stroke selected by itself. So this has some uses in it, and we will cover it. How can we use this option? For now, let's see the next option we have in pencil tool, that is edit selected path. Now what it does is if you're it has a value that is 12 pixels. So if you are inside 12 pixels, then it will make some changes to your path. Now the changes it makes totally depends on the kind of strokes you are drawing. Alright, so we can turn it off also, we can uncheck it or we can check it. That's up to you. But I'm going to leave it selected right now because we are going to see how it makes some changes. And one thing to note that when we check this edit selected path, your path should be selected to make any changes. It doesn't make changes on an unselected path. So let's click OK right now. And let's say I'm drawing a circle here. And this path is selected now. And you can see when I move my pencil closer to this path, I'm in a 12 pixel range here. So now if I draw something, it will help in editing this path. And now let's draw a line from here to close this path. And now you can see that my path has been closed automatically by Illustrator, and what the only thing I have done is draw a line within the 12 pixel range of this path. Alright, so let's see this option again. I am drawing something over here. This time increase fidelity to 9 pixels and OK. And this time from here you can see if I come closer to this end point, my cursor changes. Or if I closer 12 pixel to this path, then my cursor changes automatically. So now when I'm drawing something, it's editing the path actually. And from here if I start drawing, and so I can actually close a path, and so that's how I can edit my shape. So you might want to practice it a bit before using it in real life projects, because this is kind of tricky work, how to edit your path, and once you practice it you will be able to understand it better, that how it works. And I think that's all we should cover in this tool. The other options you have in this tool are the strokes. You can change your stroke from here. I think we have covered it already, but still you can change the width of your stroke or thickness of your stroke from this option. And here you have something called this uniform and other kind of strokes. So it says what kind of stroke do you want for your outlines. So let's say I'm drawing a line over here, or I'm drawing a path, and let's say the fill is none, and make it 8 pixel thick. Okay. And this time the stroke type or the width profile I'm going to select is this one. So you can see the outer sides of the stroke is thin and the inner side is really thick. So that's how it changes your stroke. So I can experiment with any of the shapes and you can see the changes over here. So the way it works is you have to select the path first and then you can apply these options on it. Then you will be able to see it. Like it has changed my path over here, and after that there is this brush definition which again makes some changes to your path. So you have few of the options over here. This is like a border, and this gives you a brush kind of feel, and this one is like a chalk or a pencil. So yeah, you can experiment with all these options. So the next tool we are going to cover is select tool. Now we have already covered this tool before, but again I'm going to cover it in this video, and we are going to see some more options, and or more like we are going to see all the options we have with selection tool. Alright, so let's draw something first, and first of all, to select selection tool, you can press V on your keyboard to select the selection tool. And to select any shape, you can either click on the path or in the fill also. So let's fill some color inside this shape. Okay, this is too bright, so let's say something like this. All right. So you can either click on the path or click on the fill to select your shape. Once selected, you can make changes to your shape, like you can click and move to move your shape around. Then you have this bounding box around. So if you click on any of these points and move, then you can actually scale your shape. Again, while scaling, you can press shift to have a proportionate scale, and when you release your mouse first and then you release your shift key. Alright, so again while moving you can press alt key to copy the shape. So like you can see when I press alt, my cursor has changed to a double arrow, and when I release this I get this duplicated shape. Okay, the other way to copy is you can select the shape first and press Ctrl C to copy the shape and Ctrl V to paste it. Now whenever you paste any shape, it by default pastes to the center of the screen. So if I move somewhere over here and press Ctrl V, so you can see it by default pastes to the center of my workspace or center of my screen. So if I want to paste at the same location from where I copied, let's say I copied from here and now I moved my original shape, and I want the copy to be created at the same place where my shape was. So what I can do is press Ctrl Shift V to paste it, and it will be pasted at the original position of a source. Alright, so that's two ways of copying objects, and but there is an advantage when you're copying with Alt tool. So let's say I press Alt and move my mouse, and I copied over here. Now to duplicate this information, what you can do is press Ctrl D again and again to copy the same shape. So this works with Alt key. It doesn't work when you're using Ctrl C or Ctrl V. So if you are duplicating your shape while using the Alt key, then you can press Ctrl D to duplicate that information, and it will keep copying the objects like in the way you have copied before. Alright, so delete all the shapes, and now what we are going to see is if you want to select multiple objects. So let's undo it actually and have all the shapes. So right now we have seen if we click on any of the shape, we can select that shape and move them. But what if I want to select multiple shapes? To select multiple shapes, you can either click and drag on your screen, and you will get this rectangle kind of thing that will select all the shapes that touches that rectangle, and then you can move them combinedly. Or you can press shift and select other shapes to have multiple select, and then again you can, after selecting all the shapes, you can just click on any of them and move them. Now to deselect from the selection, again you can press shift key and select on any of the shape, so that will be deselected from the selection. Alright, so that's all with the selection tool. The next thing we are going to see is direct selection tool. And it is related a lot to the pencil tool because let's say if I'm drawing something like this. Now the shape has come out good. Let me turn off the uh, fill new selected strokes, fill new pencil strokes, click OK. Now let's say if I'm drawing something and this shape has come out really well, but the only problem is this end bit and the starting bit, and somewhere in between there are few changes. But I don't want to draw the shape again because it might not come out this proper. So it would be better if I can make some changes in this shape itself. So for that, what I can do is I have my direct selection tool. So to select this tool, either you can press A on your keyboard or you can click on this cursor on your toolbar. Alright, so what it does is when you select any shape, it shows you all the anchor points and control handles of that path. Now, what is anchor point and what is control handle? Let's see it. So let us select this shape first. And now these dots, actually these square dots in between the path, these are called anchor points. Like this one, I will just draw it for you. Like this one, select the brush tool instead. Select this one over here. Now it is hidden. So now you can see that this is anchor point over here. Even when I move my mouse cursor above this, so it says anchor. And when I move my mouse cursor over the path, so it says path. Alright. So that is anchor point. Now what is control handle? So let's select direct selection tool and select any of this anchor point. You can click and drag your mouse above that anchor point, or you can just click on that anchor to select that. So yeah, whenever you select any anchor point, you get these two handles around it. It can be one at the corner or it can be two in between the path. So these are called control handles. So you can actually click on these circles and move them to make changes to your path. So how cool is that actually? Because you have the ability to make changes to your existing path. And this applies to all the paths or all the shapes you are drawing in Illustrator, whether it's rectangle, rounded rectangle, or any of the shape we have learned so far. You can use this tool on any of them. And we are actually going to cover that today, and we will see how we can make changes in all those shapes also. But right now, let's focus on this shape and let's correct the last and the first position which we wanted to correct. So now what I can do is click and drag on this anchor point, because I know at the end of this line there will be anchor point. So just click and drag to select that anchor point. Now you can see the difference that the selected anchor point is a blue one and the non-selected anchor point is a white one. Alright, so let's move this selected anchor point over here. And now I have this kind of curve which I can correct by moving the control handles to something like this. Alright, let's go to the other end of the stroke and we'll make some corrections over here. So select this anchor point and move it outward a bit. And then move the control handle to change the shape and press Ctrl 0. Even over here we can make some changes like extend this handle a bit and yeah. So now my shape has changed and it has now come out really properly, and there is even space between this and this over here. So that's how you can make changes to your existing shapes, and that's how selection tool works. Direct selection tool works. Now, if you want to select multiple anchor points, what you can do is select one of them. And like in selection tool, we use shift key to select multiple objects. Here also you can use shift key to select multiple anchor points. And you can click on any of the selected anchor point and move them around to move all the selected points together. Okay, so these are the all tools we are going to learn in today's chapter or today's video. Now what we are going to do is we are going to create some example using the pencil tool, and we will try to use our direct selection tool and all the previous concepts we have learned so far. There are two kind of examples we are going to see. One will be sort of a sketch and second will be a sort of finished design we are going to create. So yeah, let us start with our pencil tool. Select the pencil tool, and what we are going to make is let's make a face using the pencil tool. So the basic thing is drawing a circle, and then so to use pencil tool as a sketching for sketching, you might want to deselect this, because if your path is selected, it will keep editing the previous path. So You have this deselected and now draw a circle and center lines, or actually you can start with anything abstract like this and so after this what we are going to do is all skill based. It has very less to do with software or the tool. uh, the strokes or the shapes are drawing. I'm so confident about this shape because or this design because I have practiced them a lot. So you might want to draw something which you are familiar with or you are confident with to begin with, and then you can increase your level further. Again, you can turn on the fidelity to minimum because I'm drawing very small shapes over here and I don't want Illustrator to correct it by itself. Okay, and this is a kind of angry guy, so let's have shape like this for his mouth and a little bit of detailing in the ear. Alright, so this is just a basic example of how you can actually sketch in Illustrator using a pencil tool. Let's select all of them and use our direct select or and use our selection tool and move this to a center. Now, if you're drawing with mouse, then you might really find it difficult to draw something like this. But if you're using a pen tablet, then you might find it convenient to draw. So again, it depends a lot on the kind of device you're using. Plus, it depends obviously on skills also. Right now, this looks like a pen stroke. So what I can do now is select all of them, or I can press Control A also to select all of them. And from here, I can select this width profile to this one. Increase the stroke to let's say the stroke be 1 pixel wide only. And from here, I can select this charcoal kind of feel for my strokes. And again, drop this pixel width to 0.5. So now you can see this gives me a pencil kind of look that I have drawn something using the pencil. And again, you can select all of them and change their outline color to something like blue or something, which gives you a pencil color kind of look. So yeah, that's how you can sketch in Illustrator. But if you are serious for sketching and you want to work as a professional in sketching, then I prefer not to start with Illustrator. You can better start with some other software like Paint Tool SAI, or you can start with Photoshop, because Illustrator is a vector-based software, and the more strokes you create, the more heavier your file gets. And it's not the case with other raster-based software because it is stroke independent. You can draw as much as you want, but here with every stroke your file gets heavier and it increases the chances of getting crashed or having your file corrupted. Also, there is no pressure information over here. So if you're drawing with pen or if you're drawing with pen tablet, then you get this pressure in other software. Let me open another software for you. Okay, so I'm using Paint Tool SAI for a demo. So like if I want to draw something over here, you get this pressure information. So that's really helpful when you sketch actually, because you want to draw some lines really light and you want to keep some lines really thick. So that information is not available in Illustrator because it's a vector-based stroke. But when you draw here in Illustrator using pencil tool, you don't get all this width or all this pressure information. So it's just a single line with same width all the time. So if you are serious about sketching and you want to pursue your career or you want to be professional in that, then I recommend using some raster-based software for sketching first, and then you can finish your design in Illustrator or in any other software also. Of course, the pressure sensitive information will not be available with the mouse. So if you are drawing with mouse, then You can either work in Illustrator or in any other sketching software. That will not make any much difference. All right, so that's an example of a sketching demo. Now let's see any finished design what I'm going to make. So obviously I don't use pencil tool for this kind of work in Illustrator. So then what I use it for? All right. So let's take example of like I'm drawing a tattoo. So in tattoo actually we have this kind of shapes. We draw these kind of shapes a lot. So let's make something and let's see how we can do it. So increase my pen stroke width to 1 point and now drawing a shape like this will be a lot difficult in Illustrator if I'm going to use any other tool. Yes, there are other tools other than all the shape tools we have learned, like pen tool, and we can even modify those shapes. But even if I use the best tools in Illustrator, drawing something like this will take me a lot of time and I might not get it very perfectly. So like here I have the shape which I exactly wanted. So for this kind of strokes, I use pencil tool, and what we are going to do now is draw a similar shape like this. Okay, so now it is not very precise. So what we are going to do now is use our direct selection tool, press A on your keyboard, and we are going to correct this shape. But now when you select this shape or when you select this path, you can see that there are a lot of anchor points in this. And while using direct selection tool, it will be very hard for me to make changes to all the small anchor points, and it is very obvious that I will not get the result I want with making changes to these many anchor points. So what we are going to do here is delete this shape and increase our fidelity to 3 pixels and make smoothness to 10% and press OK. Now this time I'm going to draw some stroke, the same stroke actually. And now when I select this shape, you can see when I select this path, you can see I have these anchor points at an equal distance or at a very compared to the previous path where I had anchor point at very close distance and it was very hard for me to make changes to that shape. Alright, so let's draw our another shape over here. Okay, so this has come out good. Now let's select our direct selection tool and we are going to make some changes in these two paths. Alright, so move this one and over here and this one over here. Now this point is really sharp, this corner is really sharp, so I might want to reduce this sharpness a bit and move it somewhere over here. Okay, so let's see how it looks now. Okay, it looks really good. And this path has come out really good. This part is perfectly fine. Here I can make some changes because this is not perfectly circular, so pull it out a bit and reduce the control handle width here, and then this one actually we can put it over here. Okay, and again move the control handle and make a perfect curve over here, and here also I think this control handle is a little short, so let's pull it out a bit. Okay, so one path has been corrected, which is this one, and it has come out good. Now let's correct the other path. Now so far it has come out good from here to here. The only thing we need to make change is over here, which is not actually very circular. So we will select this anchor point, move it a bit, or we will select this control handle and move it like this. Okay, so it has come out good now, but I think something like this will make more sense than the circular one. Or we can actually correct the outer path also and make it even more circular so that it looks good. And here again we can change this to something like this. Okay, so this path has come out really well now. Now there's one more thing in direct selection tool which I missed, actually, the implementation of Alt key. So let's say I'm just drawing a stroke over here. Okay, and this time what I'm going to do is this control handles, actually you can see that when I'm moving one control handle, it's automatically moving the other one. So what if I only want to move single control handle and leave the other control handle at its place? So what I can do is, before moving the control handle, I can press Alt key, and you can see my sign or my cursor has this plus icon beside it. So now when I move the control handle, you can see only one of them is moving and the other one is fixed at its position. And now I can make some changes over here, or I can actually use Alt key, press Alt key first and then mouse click to move the control handle, and I have an anchor point which have two control handles or two independent control handles. So you can again link them, but there is a separate tool for that and we will learn it in future videos. So for right now, just know that how to separate control handles. You can press Alt key and then left click on your mouse to break that control handle. Once the control handle is independent, again you can operate it with single mouse click. You don't need to press Alt key again and again. Okay, so let's delete the shape and let's come back to our example. All right, so I have my outline ready here. Now what I'm going to do is fill color in this. So that's very simple work. Select all of these, select all these two shapes and double click on this, and what fill color should we use? I think the dark blue and a little dark, and press OK. Now you can see there is a weird fill over here because and this is happening because our path is not closed, our path is open. So if I move them like this, you can see that this is actually happening. So what we need to do now is close these two paths. These paths are still open, they are not closed one. So what we can do for this is select this corner anchor point. So here, like, we have two anchor points. Let's undo and select both of them together and right click, and here you have this average and join. So what average does is it brings both of your anchor points together. So do you want to snap them, or do you want to align them in horizontal direction or in vertical, or both? So if you use both, they will be snapped to a single point, and let's say both, and then now when they are at a single point, you can right click and click on join to join these two anchor points. Now when you select this and move, you can see you have a single anchor point. So yeah, we have closed the path from one side. Let's close it from other side also. So select these two anchor points and click on average and click OK to have them at a single point, and click join. Okay. So now we have this closed path. Now let's see a separate example how this average option works. So let's say I have this two path over here. Okay. And we have these anchor points at both ends. So what I'm going to do is select these two anchor points, right click and say average. Now this time, instead of both, I am doing horizontal and click OK. So you can see they are in a single horizontal line, these two anchor points. Otherwise, when I click on average and make vertical, so okay, let's select these two anchor points only. So now you can see they are aligned in a single vertical line. So now if you click and say average on both the axes, then they will be at a center point between both of them. Again, you can join two separate points also. You can click on join over here and it will join your curve like this. But in this case, we don't want that. We don't want extra line in between those two very close placed anchor points. So what we did is we joined them. We first made the average of these 2 points, and then we clicked on join to join these anchor points to have a single point instead of having a line in between. Alright, so with that understood and we have our path closed, we can actually fill color inside this, or actually just reverse this color, the outline color over here, and I have my shape ready. No. So let's extend this design and make some more shapes around it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to fast forward the video so that it won't take much of your time. Now here you can see that we have this extra curve over here, and it you might find it really difficult to see what is actually going on here. So for that you can actually press Ctrl Y to go into outline mode so that you have these anchor points visible. Now what outline mode does is it only shows the outlines, it doesn't show the fill, and it turns off the preview. So when you press Ctrl Y again, it displays what you are actually drawing, and when you press Ctrl Y, so it only shows the outline. So this is kind of a toggle mode. It helps you a lot in identifying the anchor points and what is actually going on in the path. So let's say here I have one extra anchor point which was not visible previously in preview mode. So what I'm going to do is select this anchor point and delete to have my shape back, and let's continue with our design now. Now at times when you're working on a very high precision level, so you might find it difficult to actually move your anchor point or your control handle at exact position you want. So for that what you can do is select the anchor point and use left and right arrow keys or up down arrow keys to position it correctly. Okay, again this handle, if I'm moving, it's snapping automatically to the line or to the path which I don't want. So to turn it off we can press Ctrl U to turn off the smart guides, and then we can position it properly, and when our work is done we can again turn on the smart guide. Now over here, instead of making a circle with my line, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a circle or create a ellipse. Let's create a ellipse first, and let's say this is the ellipse I want, and release it and rotate it a bit there. And now I'm repositioning this ellipse using my arrow keys on the keyboard. Okay. Yeah, this looks good now. Let's have a fill, or let's join this corners first. Now you can press Ctrl Y again to come back to your preview mode, and this time select all of them and or select these two and invert their fill, and there I have my tattoo kind of design ready. Now there is a little bit of gap problem over here, it's not very accurate, so let's change it real quick. So have our direct selection tool, select it, and we can move this center anchor point and add just a little spacing over here. Now again, this might be a problem seeing the blue over the blue because these lines are already blue. All the anchor points and everything is in blue color and the fill is also blue. So we can go to our outline mode and so that we have better visibility. Okay, when we are done, we can again come back to preview mode and press Ctrl 0 to look into our final design. Even you can go and fill it with black, that will even look better. And finally press Ctrl G to group it to have one single design. Alright, so that's just a basic implementation of how you can actually use pencil tool and direct selection tool together to make some designs. We also use ellipse tools and we can also use a lot more other tools what we have learned in previous videos to make designs like this and that's all we are going to cover in today's video. I hope you understand everything and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.